Imagine you're at a dinner party and someone corners you with a sob story so elaborate it could win an Oscar. You listen, you nod, you feel bad. And before you know it, you're offering to help them move this weekend. But wait, how did we get here? And why do some people wield their victimhood like a weapon? Enter Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche wasn't exactly known for warm and fuzzy self-help advice. Instead, he dug deep into the underbelly of human behavior, asking why some people use morality like a dog leash to control others. And one way they do it? By playing the victim. But before we dissect that, let's define our terms. A genuine victim is someone who's actually been wronged, taken advantage of without their consent. But someone playing the victim? They haven't been wronged. They're just pretending to be, and they're doing it to manipulate you. Here's the tricky part: consent. Consent is the line between real victimhood and the victim act. A genuine victim never agreed to the mistreatment, or wasn't in a position to. Think of a child or someone who's severely intoxicated. But someone playing the victim? They gave consent, but now they're pretending they didn't. Or worse, they're claiming you consented to things you didn't. Why would anyone do this? Nietzsche would say it's all about power. And those playing the victim have two main weapons in their arsenal: guilt and obligation, and pity and disgust. Weapon number 1, guilt and obligation. This is where the manipulator claims you owe them something you never agreed to. They impose a debt on you, and when you don't pay up, they make you feel guilty. Take Jane, for instance. At 22, her husband left her with 2 sons, Jamie and Michael. She decides she'll sacrifice everything for them, and, in return, they'll never leave her. That's her covert contract. The problem? Her kids never agreed to it. But as they grow up and start living their own lives, Jane pulls out the guilt card. After everything I've done for you, you're just going to abandon me? You ungrateful little... You get the picture. Is it fair? Absolutely not. Jane's sons never agreed to be her emotional caretakers for life. But because Jane framed her sacrifice as a selfless act, she now expects repayment, guilt-tripping her sons whenever they try to set boundaries. It's not about what Jane gave, it's about what she secretly expected in return. Now let's move on to weapon number 2. Pity and disgust. This one's sneaky. Here, the person playing the victim tries to make everyone feel sorry for them while painting you as the villain. Back to Jane. Jamie buys into his mother's sob story, but Michael? He's had enough. He moves away to go to college, and Jane is livid. Now she flips the narrative. She tells Jamie, "Can you believe your brother took all my money and just left me here to rot? After everything I did for him?" Notice what Jane's doing here. She's reframing her voluntary sacrifice as something Michael was obligated to pay back, even though he never agreed to it. And she's doing it to turn Jamie against Michael, playing on Jamie's pity and disgust to keep him close and compliant. Nietzsche would call this a masterclass in manipulation. The covert contract is the ultimate tool for someone playing the victim. It's a hidden expectation, a deal they made up in their own mind but never actually communicated. And when you don't meet the unspoken terms, they act like you betrayed them. So, how do you spot someone playing the victim? Look for these 2 tactics. First, they'll claim they didn't give consent to something they clearly agreed to. Second, they'll insist you agreed to something you definitely didn't. And both are designed to make you feel either guilty or disgusted, or both. But here's the real kicker. Sometimes, the person playing the victim doesn't even realize they're doing it. They're so wrapped up in their own covert contracts and unspoken expectations that they genuinely believe they're the victim. So, how do we avoid falling into the victim mentality trap ourselves? The famous philosopher's solution is all about clarity and consent. Be upfront about your expectations. If you're doing something for someone, do it without strings attached. And if someone tries to saddle you with a debt you never agreed to, call it out. Because at the end of the day, life's too short to spend it being manipulated, or worse, being the manipulator. And as Nietzsche might say, the truth will set you free, but first, it will probably make you pretty uncomfortable. If you found this video meaningful and interesting, drop a comment below and share your experience. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might find this content useful. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.